Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 9 game in my Udaloi, and the purpose of this game is to discuss kind of how to deal with caps with a Russian destroyer. See a lot of Russian destroyer players screw this up, and this is a game where, you know, I do an okay job at making sure that my team can still get the cap pressure. Looking at the enemy team, not a lot of radar. Honestly, radar doesn't really affect this boat too much. Um, the destroyers, Shiratsuyu, Kosak, they're both detection threats to me. Kitakaze is the biggest threat on the entire enemy team. It's got everything. Outspots me, has, I believe, better DPM. It's a fantastic boat. Um, Other than that, everything is, pretty chill. A destroyer running the wrong type of camo. I don't get it, but whatever. But kind of my plan is to use this Benson initially as a spotter, and then I'll use my DPM to push the enemy destroyer out before any real damage can happen to the Benson. And I am worried because I believe that camo is just for dispersion. It doesn't have a concealment bonus. And a player that's running that, I kind of question whether they're going to actually perform well. Because they're showing a misunderstanding of how to properly equip their boat. And this is what I didn't want to see. This guy just, okay, he's contesting the cap, but he's not, you know, he can play a little more aggressive than that. And, I mean, my concealment's much bigger than his. I'm still pushing in here, and this is one of those things. I'm just going to start shooting. Something spotted, go on ahead, shoot me. I'm looking for that kind of, engagement. Just trying to see where, everybody's at, and haven't really got too good looks. Only a King George was spotted, and I had some random shells flying from an undetected ship back on the 9 line. I think that might be the Neptune right there. At least that smoke is what makes sense to me. There's the Neptune. I load AP, just try to get a sneaky shot off there, maybe get citadels or whatever, but end up hitting too high. And we do get the spot. It's a Cossack in the cap.
Mic off. Mic on.
And disaster strikes. Everybody playing destroyers has been there. You come out just around an island and smack right into something. But what I'm doing here, I'm just being patient. These guys are pushing. I'm looking to see if I can actually drop my torps. This build that I run, I do use Concealment Expert on it. Um, Mostly only because it's mostly only because this boat I also use on, or this captain I use on other ships like oh shit, what's that boat called? Ohotnik. So there's a few things that aren't like 100%, you know, just for this particular captain. But right here, I've got the target that I've been looking for. This Cossack, he's spotted, and this really is my time to really punish this guy. This guy's what's actually holding me up. End up getting a fire. I think that's an unrepairable fire on the guy. And at this point, I'm actually undetected, but I'm just keeping my guns going. Um, you know, this is typical Russian gameplay, just harass, harass, harass. I'm coming back around the corner. I want to try to polish off this Cossack before he can get undetected. Ugh. Wasn't able to get that kill. But I'm just working on this guy. I know the Cossack's still trying to hang out in cap. that's a that's a sketchy play, being this low health. It's bad things can happen, and he gets spotted quickly, and I apparently have a seizure trying to get my guns on target. Nagato smacks him and picks up the kill, and at this point, this cap's mine. But I'm not slowing down the guns or anything like that. I got smoke coming up, and you know, at the very least, I'll go on ahead and drop smoke if I need to. I want to keep my guns going though. Now, coming up here, what I'm thinking, this Massachusetts is probably going to try to push this. He's just been playing kind of odd, and just thinking that I might get a crack at the guy, so I'm getting ready to start kiting that direction. And just working on this King George, or excuse me, Duke of York. Pretty much same thing. And Massachusetts gets spotted. So, just gonna smoke up, try to work this guy over. I poke out of the smoke briefly just to try to reacquire him. He shoots, so I know at this point I've got 20 seconds to really hit this guy. So I'm looking for any sort of, you know, fires or anything like that to get some pressure on this guy. I don't want him, you know, pushing this flank into my battleships. because there is a pretty healthy Duke of York down here. These guys would end up being in a crossfire. So, you know, smoking up here and just putting some pressure on this guy's forcing him back. And it's keeping my teammates out of a crossfire. This Buffalo's playing kind of dangerous, pushing into the cap like this. Now at this point, the game's obviously turning into a stomp. We've been, you know, forcing everybody out of C cap, but the enemy does have 2 cap points, and you know it's my turn right now. I'm the only destroyer left. I need to try to do something to flip this cap. I was kind of hoping that I'd get a crack at this Neptune, but this guy's just going to keep running south. I waited for this Duke of York to shoot, then start throwing some HE out there, maybe get another fire on this guy. Now at this point we get a critical spot on the Kitakaze out there. This is, personally I think the Kitakaze should have been closer to B cap. Yes, he's down a lot of ships and everything, but he's got to try to do something to hold the advantage that he does have, and that advantage is the extra cap. You know, I probably would have tried to see if I could use B cap as bait to, you know, pick up a kill on me, or, you know, lay into a battleship pushing from C cap into B. Right here, just smoking up, trying to get damage, force these guys away from B cap. That's pretty much my main objective. Just not getting any fires on this Duke of York. Well, speak of the devil. Now this Yamato's broadside, he just looked like he put out some fires. Just switching to AP, you can, you know, if you land it right, you can see the difference in the damage. His damage control was on cooldown, so just switch back to HE. Want to get this guy on fire, get that pressure going on him. Now, the cap is contested right now, and that's an issue because I believe that it's the Kitakaze, And you can see the smoke right there. I'm just going to play chill. Just drop my torps into this guy's smoke and try to move towards the island just because this guy, I mean, we're about equal on health. He's got more DPM than me, though. You know, this is a fight outside of, 10 kilometers. I'd be okay picking. But this close, he's a real threat to reckon me. So we trade actually pretty evenly. I think I did get one extra volley on the guy. Looking at the detailed report, but my Nagato's able to finish him off, and that pretty much clinches the game for us. We've just got this Duke of York that's running for the hills. So we're gonna run this guy down now. Kind of the general principle that I have when I'm approaching caps and a Russian destroyer is mainly, it's not really about the cap, it's about the HP of the supporting ships that are keeping the destroyers in the cap. If I'm able to, bleed the enemy battleships and cruisers of their HP, I can push in and I can just bully any enemy destroyer that's on the cap. But what you don't want to do is push in there aggressive trying to spot the enemy destroyer, because by the time you spot that guy, you're danger close to the enemy team and you're going to take significant you're going to lose significant amounts of your hit points. So it's better to move just till you spot, a cruiser, a battleship, and just start gunboating there than it is to actually try to push that destroyer out of the cap initially. And that's just how it is. That's the advantage of having superior concealment. You know, there's that's always that trade-off. Superior concealment, you get to, provide that zone where, Russian destroyers and other gunboats just can't push in there if they've got teammates supporting them. The flip side to that, superior firepower, if you're able to eliminate their support, at that point you can bully them right out. And, I just see a lot of Russian destroyer players just trying to jump right to the bullying, and they end up getting wrecked, and then they get frustrated, and, nothing good happens when you're frustrated. So, this game, it was an alright game. It's, you know, it's not like the be all end all. It's a decent game. Um, but it really showed kind of the patience that you have to have when you're working around a cap. It wasn't until I had kind of pushed the enemy back that I wasn't able to, or that I was able to cap it. Or wait till the enemy moves where they're behind islands, stuff like that, they're not able to shoot me. At that point, I can rush right in and cap it. So, Russian destroyers, how to cap. Let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys are having a good night, and I will talk to you guys later.